Okay, how's everybody doing? Question. If you know the meaning of your name, does this affect your self esteem, your actions? I kind of think it does. Go to in Genesis. Genesis chapter 27, uh, verse 36. Okay, and give you some background. Um, Jacob he already had tricked his brother into giving him his birthright, right? Now he tricked his dad at the urging of his mother into getting the blessing. And when Esau comes up and sees what happens in verse 36, Esau said, "Is he rightly named Jacob? He has deceived me these 2 times. He took my birthright, and now he has taken my blessing." Then he asked, "Haven't you have reserved a blessing for me?" Right? And he goes on, says that he's going to be basically a servant to his brother. So, does it affect? And I think it does, because look what it says in chapter 30 of Genesis. At chapter 30, verse 35 through 43. 30. Chapter 30. Oh, I went too far. Okay. At verse 30. Okay. Laban is that's his uncle, right? Basically Jacob married 2 sisters that were his cousins, first cousins. Laban is just as much of a cheat as Jacob is. So in verse 30 he says, "The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you where I have been. But now, when I may do something for you do something for my own household." Basically, Jacob says, "Dude, you're all you own is because of my work." "What shall I give you?" he asked. He says, "Don't give me anything." Jacob replied, "But if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through all your flocks today, remove every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages, and my honesty will testify for me in the future. Whether you check on your wages, you have paid me. And any goat in my possession that is not speckled, spotted, or any lamb that is not dark colored will be considered stolen." "Agreed," said Laban. "Let it be as you have said." That same day he removed all the male goats that were streaked or spotted, and all the speckled and spotless females, all that had white on them, and all the dark-colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. Then he put 3-day journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend the rest of Laban's flocks. Jacob, however, took fresh cut branches from the poplar, almond trees, and plane trees and made white stripes on them by peeling back the bark and exposing the white inner of the branches, wood of the branches. Then he placed the peeled branches in all the watering troughs where they would be directly in front of the flocks where they came to drink. And when the flocks were in heat and came to drink, they made it in front of the branches, and they bore their young and were streaked or speckled or spotted. Jacob set apart the young of the flock by themselves, and made the rest he streaked in dark colored animals that belonged to Laban. Then he made separate flocks for himself, and did not put them with Laban's animals. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches in the troughs where the animals, so he would mate near the branches. But if the animals were weak, he would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban, and the strong ones to Jacob. In this way, the man grew the exceedingly prosperous, and came to own large flocks, maidservants, menservants, and the camels and donkeys. Okay, so he's still cheating. He cheated his way to prosperity. He didn't rely on God. At this moment, he had not had the encounter with God in which he wrestled with God and God changed his name. Right? There's a reason why Gabriel, the angel, when he appeared to Mary and he appeared to Zechariah at two separate occasions, told them to name the kids that they were going to have, gave them the names. And it's not because, oh yeah, it's a nice name. It's because there's power behind the name. And when God does not want to do a psychotherapy, right, then he will do the name first. The name has a lot to do with your blessing or your cursing, right? There's a big deal to that. In First Chronicles chapter 4. Now, if you realize that your name is a curse, right? What do? First Chronicles chapter 4, verses 9 and 10. 2 verses. Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. His mother had named him Jabez, saying, I gave birth to him in pain. Right? At verse 10, Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm, so that I may be free from pain. And God granted his request. So, the circumstances can change. Look what he said. Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Your territory would be your influence. Be influential at your job. Be influential among the people that you're trying to minister to. Let your hand be with me. Keep me from harm, so that I will be free from pain. His name was pain. Not to change his name, to change his circumstances. Right? So he kept the name. You ever call a child that he was a pain? You're a pain in the butt, pain in the neck. You're just a pain. You're a thorn in my side. So if you're about to have a baby and about to name your child, and you've already picked out a name, research what that name means before you name the child. If you find that it's a curse, put the brakes on that. Find another name that would bless him. Bless the child. Him or her, doesn't matter. There's a reason why, let's say Jezebel. There's nobody named Jezebel that would rightly be named Jezebel. because Jezebel means not honored by God, right? So, because you find a name in the Bible does not mean that that it's a good name to have for the child. Research the name. And if you did name a person, you can't go back and change it. What you do is you go to First Chronicles chapter 4, verses 9 and 10. And I goofed, bless my child. So I'll leave you that and go ahead and be blessed, people.